Royal barbecue pork is something that the kings and queens of Korea ate back in the day, but it's just thinly sliced pork marinated in doenjang or Korean soybean paste. The good news is that it's easy enough to make at home and you no longer have to be royalty to enjoy it. So come on, grab some doenjang and I'll show you how to make this. What I find so interesting about this recipe is that Koreans will often marinate pork in gochujang or red pepper paste, but not necessarily doenjang or soybean paste. So that's what I really like about this recipe, and the taste is unbelievable. What you're gonna need for this is sliced pork, garlic, Korean soybean paste, honey, soy sauce, ginger, sesame oil, mirin, water, scallions, and roasted sesame seeds. I'm gonna start by making the sweet side of the marinade first. So I have 2 tablespoons of water, 2 tablespoons of honey. It's a little gloopy, don't mind me. It's cold in my kitchen. And 1 tablespoon of mirin. And this will help tenderize the pork as well as add a little bit of sweetness. You give this a mix just so your honey will stop being gloopy. And then you want to add your pork. Don't mind me while I put on my handy kitchen gloves. I have 1 pound of thinly sliced pork butt, but you can use pork loin. Don't get this confused with pork tenderloin. I bought this at the Korean market, and it's sometimes also referred to as pork bulgogi because it has the same cut as ribeye when you use it for bulgogi. I recommend just buying at the Korean grocery because it's already uniformly cut, but you can always just get a big chunk of pork, put it in the freezer for a little bit, and then slice it about 1/8 of an inch thick. You're just gonna add this into your honey marinade. I'm just carefully giving this a toss in the marinade because I don't want to break apart the thin slices too much. Now we're gonna let this sit for about 5 minutes on its own, and I'm gonna chop up the rest of my ingredients for the rest of the marinade. I just sliced off a little coin of ginger, and I just used my knife to cut off the skin. And we're just gonna mince it. Ginger just adds a subtle warmth and heat to the pork, which works so well, especially with the honey. Okay, that's about a teaspoon's worth, so I'm just gonna use that much. Then you're gonna need 2 cloves of garlic, or roughly 2 teaspoons worth. If you guys follow me on Snapchat, you probably saw that I hinted that mincing garlic is my least favorite job when it comes to cooking. I don't know why, it just seems so tedious. Joe's like dancing to the sound of my knife. Add that to your bowl. So technically you only need 1 scallion for the marinade, but I'm gonna do 2 because I do like to have a little extra for garnishing on the top. So I think I'm just gonna set more of the greener parts on the side and then put the rest in here. To this, I'm gonna add in some soy sauce. So I have a tablespoon of soy sauce. Doesn't seem like a lot for a pound of pork, but that's because I'm also adding my secret ingredient. I have a tablespoon of doenjang, and this is soybean paste. It comes in a little tub. It's thick, it's pasty, pungent, salty, and it definitely has an umami quality to it. And just think of it as Korean miso. Usually you'll see doenjang used mostly for stews. So it's a little thick and chunky, and so is everything else in here. So I'm just gonna take a little bit to mash it all in and incorporate it so I don't have a really hard time blending it in with my pork. Once it's incorporated, just add it to your pork. When we were in Korea, we visited the palaces, and it was a great experience. It was really unbelievably hot that day, but it was still great to walk around and see that beautiful architecture, the colors, the ornate details. And we also got a chance to see an example of a royal table and what kind of food that the kings and queens might have eaten back in the day. And I can imagine that this royal pork was on the menu. This is probably not as popular as bulgogi, but the thing is that this recipe predates bulgogi. So It still has a sweet soy sauce flavor to it that we're familiar with bulgogi, but it also has a little something extra special because of the soybean paste. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of roasted sesame oil. And you notice that I'm doing this at the end because there's a thing about sesame oil sometimes preventing the marinade from sticking to the rest of the ingredients. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm just doing as the myths say. And that's 2 teaspoons of roasted sesame seeds, and they sell it in a container at a Korean market. Just give it one more toss. And we're gonna set this aside for 30 minutes. That's it. You're done. All you have to do is wait for it, and then we're just gonna head over to the stove and just fry it up. I love how Korean barbecue doesn't have to include any barbecue sauce or be cooked on a grill. And I'm just choosing my cast iron skillet, but it is searing hot. I'm just gonna add in some vegetable oil. I'm just finishing up my second batch. It looks and smells incredible. All you're gonna do when you're completely done is top it with some more scallions and sesame seeds and then serve it up with some rice. I don't know about you, but I am royally hungry. I'm starving. And this sizzling in the pan does not help.
Right on the money. No, this is like perfect.
Isn't it weird how it kind of doesn't taste like doenjang too?
Kind of have that bulgogi taste flavor.
Yeah.
No. Strange, but so good.
You're strange. Oh yeah, try it in the lettuce wrap. Could hear that crunch. For our plate, just because I wanted to be fancy, I decided to plate it up with some edamame and kimchi. But you could do whatever you want. You could serve this as a rice bowl, put the meat inside of a sandwich. Oh, it would be good in a taco too, right? Yeah, like a fusion taco.
Hits the spot. It's really good.
I have it with that kimchi.
Uh-huh.
You can taste a hint of the soybean paste with the sweetness of the honey and the mirin, and it's balanced out with all the flavors of the garlic and the ginger. For substitutions, if you're not into pork, you can always try this with chicken. Just thinly slice some chicken or use some boneless, skinless chicken thighs, chop it up and marinate it in that. Give that a try. And you know, I'm sure some of you are probably curious about if you can substitute Japanese regular miso for the doenjang. I don't know, I haven't tried it because they do taste very different. I'm not sure if I would recommend it or not, or if it would exactly taste the same. But if you do try it, let me know how it goes. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching this, and if you did, remember to let us know by pushing like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Royal barbecue pork is something that the kings and queens of Korea ate back in the day. But it's just... But that's because I'm also adding my secret ingredient, the star of the show today. Oops, which I left in the fridge. It's over here too much, a little bit. The last couple ingredients is sesame oil and sesame seeds. Oh no! Do I have any more on me?